Okay, so now we're going to use the FlowStone free graphical programming language to do a little class project, and today we're going to look at Boolean Algebra and show a slightly more exciting way of teaching Boolean Algebra in the classroom using the FlowStone free software. This software can be downloaded from the dsprobotics.com website, and it's free for anybody to use. So okay, let's have a look at the screen here. In the middle we've got our schematic window where we can drag various elements to build up our graphical programming. And then on the left here we've got our modules and various filters to display different module groups. There's lots of different elements that are already made that we can use, or we can make our own elements. There's also different filters here for different types of module, which we'll have a look at a little bit later. So let's go into our math section, since we're going to do Boolean Algebra, and here at the top we can see we've got a Boolean AND and a Boolean OR and lots of other mathematical blocks. So I'm just going to delete the element I dragged on earlier, and let's start with our Boolean AND. Okay, you'll see this little module has two inputs on the left and one output on the right. This is generally the case in FlowStone projects. In's on the left, out's on the right, and the actual symbols on the inputs tell you what type of input it is. In this case it's a little square wave symbol, meaning it's a Boolean input. Okay, now we're going to go and get a Boolean primitive so that we can see the state of the inputs and outputs, and you can see I can drag that across and line it up with the input, and it automatically wires it up, and now it's wired into that particular input. I can also drag it in and manually wire it up by clicking on the output and dragging it to the input. Okay, so we have now our two inputs and we can see the state of those, and now I'm going to drag one for the output and just wire that up, and we can see now our program running. FlowStone projects run all the time, which is great, so there's no compiling, it's just running right now. So here we've got two false inputs giving us a false output with a Boolean AND gate. If I make one of the inputs true, our output remains false. If I make the second input true, the output goes to true. This is an AND gate function. 1 and 1 equals 1. Okay. So now I'm going to do a Boolean OR, drag the little OR function in, and what I can do is copy these two elements by right-clicking, choosing copy, then right-clicking, choosing paste. Saves me a little time, and I can wire those into the inputs of my OR gate. I can also drag in another one for the output, and here we now have our OR gate wired in. Two false inputs gives us a false output. Any one is true, because it's an OR, gives us a true output. 1 OR 1 equals 1. Okay, so let's make this a little bit more interesting and user-friendly by adding some graphics to this, and these are going to be using GUI elements. And if we click on our little GUI filter, you can see there's lots of different GUI elements here, switches, knobs, buttons, sliders and things. And what I'm going to use is a LED to display the output a little bit more sexily. Okay, so now we have two LEDs on the output, and I'm going to choose a switch for the input. There's my switch element over here. Okay, and if I click on this switch several times, you can see there's a little number here that increments so that you can drag multiples of things in. If you're going to do maybe 8 of something, it's quite useful. Okay, I'm now going to just move all of this a little bit more into the screen because I've run out of space on the left. There we go, a bit more space. So you can see we can just drag things around, make the interface a little bit more elegant. One of the great things with FlowStone is that we can label just about everything and add comments. So here our 4 switches are all called switch. If I want to, I can go in and edit these and call that one switch 1. Okay, into the second one, call that switch 2. and then here, third one, switch 3, and here, switch 4. Okay, and the same on the outputs. I'm going to choose my LED and call it LED 1, and this one LED 2. Okay, so that's the basis of our Boolean project. Now I can flick these switches, and you can see the effects. 2 ones give us a 1 on the LED output. Excellent. Same on the OR gate. Any 1 gives us a 1. So this helps explain things a lot simpler to students in a graphical way. If I want to, I can then turn this into an application. I can select the whole project, and if I click this Make Module symbol here, the second symbol here, it makes our little project into a module, and if I click the little G button, it turns it into a graphical module, and I can now drag this out and see our graphics. Okay, so now I want to move our little graphical switches and LEDs around to give me my GUI that I'm looking for, and we do this by unlocking the module with a little padlock symbol here, and now I can drag these around, and this is where you can see the importance of labeling. It says here switch 4, this one switch 3, switch 2, switch 1. I can move my LEDs. This is LED 2, so that can come down here. And this is LED 1. And you see these modules snap to grids as well, which makes it a little easier. Okay, I can now shrink that down. Okay. Now if I want to go and add some elements into this, I can just double click on it and go back into my design and add some more elements. So what I want to do is add in some text, so I'm going to put some labels on here. So what I can do is go into my search filter and type label. Okay, and there's my label element. I can drag a couple of those in. And to edit these elements, they have a little parameters button. See the little P on the right hand bottom corner? Click on there and we can go in and type our text. We can also change the font and the size, etc. Okay, so that's my all. Okay, and this is my and. Okay, done. I can now click on my display up the top here, go into my GUI level, and I can drag my labels around and make my little project. I can lock that up, and there we have it. That's my GUI made. My little switches, if they're both 1, I get an LED on, or either one of those turns the OR gate on. Now, one cool feature of FlowStone, which isn't unfortunately available in the free version, is the Make EXE function. And if we click on here, what we get is a window saying that this option isn't available in the free version. We can choose to upgrade. And in the enterprise or the professional version, clicking on here, we can actually name our project and it will render it down to a Windows EXE file, a program. And that's a very powerful feature to have students or people make their own programs, because that is a real programming language. Okay, so that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial, and we'll see you next time.